if you don't know who's sitting on our couch, you should just get out of the business.
Turn the television off.
This is the man, the myth, the legend, Fred Reish on Retireholics. Never thought it would happen in my lifetime.
Oh, thank you.
And one of the reasons why I didn't think you'd ever be here is we continue to use your name for our own branding purposes all the time. Fred Reish Fan Club. Fred Reish is my spirit animal. But I was afraid you might come over here and start kicking over chairs or something, but no. You're good.
No, you know, and thank you for having me. And this is a special approach. I've never done this before, but it's kind of fun. So thanks for letting me be part of it.
We're going to keep it very professional with you, because usually we're drinking beers on this show. So out of respect to your career and everything that you are, we're going to do this completely sober, completely professional.
No beer, no hijinks. Just talking.
Yeah, just talking.
Wow, that's unusual
This
for
is
us.
a normal webinar then.
I want to let you know right now, Fred, that JD is the happiest I've ever seen him in the years that I've known him right now.
This has to be the biggest moment in Retireholics history.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Before we ask
We've
you
climbed the ladder.
Tough questions about fiduciary, Mark, by the way, does not know what a fiduciary is.
Finally
so we're always
gonna learn
trying
it.
to tell him that. Maybe you can help him out a little bit later.
Just a little.
Tell us a little bit more about yourself. Where's home? And when you're not living, breathing, and sleeping 401k, what do you do for fun? Do you have hobbies or anything like that?
Well, home is Los Angeles. And as we were talking about earlier, I have a beach home down in Laguna Beach. That's my fun place. In effect, that is my hobby.
You do some surfing down there in Laguna?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't. I know that's your game, but it hasn't been mine.
Just
I'm
building
jealous.
sandcastles and drinking beers on the beach.
Yeah, getting my toes wet. Just,
there you go.
You know, getting into like 6 inches of water.
Perfect.
And long walks on the beach, actually. I get up
Very
very
cool.
early. And, you know, you walk on a beach like at 6 in the morning, and there are very few people out there. There's just something really special about that. You know, it's easy to take life too seriously. And you get on the beach in the morning, and those waves come lapping in, and you realize that that's been going on forever. Before you were here, after you're gone. And it sort of puts you in proportion to a bigger reality.
Puts things in perspective.
Yeah.
It's funny, that's actually one of the personal advantages, I think, of being a surfer, that I get in the ocean almost every day. And it connects me with nature. You know, a bird flies by, a seal pops out of the water.
Shark swims under you.
I don't like to talk about that.
Dun-it.
I agree with you, and I think you would get the same from a 6 a.m. walk on the beach. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
Be careful. JD's probably going to find out where you walk. And he's going to be like, oh, hey, Fred.
Just happened to be surfing here this morning.
An airplane fly over the Fred Reish Fan Club banner hanging behind the airplane.
You want to chat fiduciary rule for a little bit? Are you all right? Sherry Fitz told me that maybe you've got a little bit of a photography hobby, and then she mentioned that it has to do with like conferences and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. On Facebook, I was traveling a few years ago, and I thought about how when you travel a lot and you're going to conferences, the first day you come in, you're lugging your suitcase behind you, you're tired because you've been on an airplane and traveling, and you walk down this long hallway, and your room is at the end. But the room is a symbol of relief. You get in, you close the door, you unpack, you can just take a deep breath and relax a little bit. And so I started, whenever I walked down a hallway in a hotel with sort of an interesting graphic design in the hallway, like the carpeting here,
typical.
I would take a picture of it. And I started the hallway series. And now other people have, Sherry included, have taken photographs of hallways, and they always attach my name to it because so anyway, there's the hallway series, and now a number of people in the retirement community are posting on Facebook.
And you thought Fred Reish was just a 401k stud. He actually takes walks on the beach, and he's an artsy dude. He takes pictures and things. We're going to dive straight into the real 401k stuff because we couldn't not do that. I'm sure you get this type of question, but what upsets you? What, in Retireholics language, what pisses you off about our industry? TPAs, record keepers, advisors, plan sponsors. What are we not figuring out? What are you trying to preach to us for these last few decades, and we just can't seem to get it right?
I think there are two things. One that's more over on the advisory side, which is elimination or a complete transparent explanation of conflicts of interest. No, everybody sells. I sell, you sell. We're all out there making a living. And so when we recommend that somebody work with us, that's inherently a conflict because we're saying, hey, let me make money off of you. But that I'm not talking about because that's pretty transparent. But things that are hidden behind the curtains.
The revenue sharing.
Revenue sharing, maybe even 12B1 fees that are partially transparent, but maybe not in the real world.
There's even pay-to-play things happening now.
All of that. And so the conflicts of interest drive me a little bit crazy. My current thing, though, is that I think we've sort of mastered, we've got a lot of good providers of different kinds of services, good plans, good investments. So we've been working a lot on the component pieces, but not on all of them together. And what do all of them together mean? It means people can retire. Regular, ordinary, everyday workers can retire. And I feel like that we should all be working with plan sponsors now to educate them on how to measure that, how to improve that, what can be done for outcomes, because we've figured out the components. Now, how do we get to the outcomes of really good components?
Yeah.
We, in a sense, replaced the old school pension plans and the DB with this wonderful new 401k thing. And I agree with you, we spent a lot of effort the last 20 years, 30 years on education and fiduciary tools and fee comparisons, and vendors have increased and done all kinds of new bells and whistles and things, but we haven't really focused on the end game. And it's only now where retirement readiness is a buzzword, but are we really making a difference or moving the needle? You don't see us doing that. We need to change.
No, I think we are doing it, like by explaining automatic enrollment to plan sponsors, automatic deferral increases, defaulting into QDIAs, target date funds, managed accounts. I think all of those have helped, but but we don't really know how much. We know because we don't know what it's going to look like when those employees reach age 65. The theoretical retirement age, and then that's really where I think the industry needs to focus right now. But the second leg that we're going to do after the thing I'm upset about now, what I'll be upset about then, is what are we doing to help people withdraw that money over 20 or 30 years and invest so they don't run out of money? How do we've pretty well mastered the pieces of the accumulation phase.
Right.
Whether or not we're doing it all right is another issue, but all the pieces are there. But for the so-called decumulation or payout phase,
I mean, you don't just take all your money and buy an annuity and then you're set. It doesn't work that way.
I think part of the issue is that it's even more individualized than the accumulation period.
Right.
Think about the accumulation period. Here's your plan. Here's your 20 investments. Here's how you save into the plan.
How do you sock away as much as you can?
It's finite. It's a sandbox, and all the parts are in the box, all the toys. But then you get to retirement. How long are you going to live? This guy's going to live 10 years. That couple, one of them is going to survive for 40 years.
Where are you going to live?
And where are you going to live? What are your expenses going to be?
On the beach in Laguna? Or are you going to live in Kansas?
Yeah. I have the answer to that. Yes.
And you have a different plan than someone else, right?
Exactly. And somebody else may want to live in a mobile home park in West Palm Beach.
And that might be great.
Yeah. And that's perfect for them. The retirement is so individualized.
Right.
I've said that before. I've told employees, hey, the idea of being in some Midwest state, retired, on a porch deck, on a rickety rocking chair, having dry mixed lemonade that I made in the kitchen, it doesn't sound too bad. A nice book, like your retirement doesn't have to be expensive, home on the beach, and you can still have a great retirement, but it is different for everyone.
Yeah, and I think there are 3 phases to retirement. There's that initial phase, which is the one that we all think about, 65 to 75, just say hypothetically, traveling, going to Europe, maybe all those things you've delayed because you were working and you really, really want to do. Then let me say hypothetically 75 to 85 is the middle period. You've gotten that out of the way. You just want to be a little more relaxed. You want to be in the rocking chair on the front porch. Yeah. You want to visit the grandkids. You want to
read a book.
Read a book. But then let me create the third phase, which is the one we don't want to talk about, is 85 to 100. and maybe diminished financial cognitive ability to make decisions. How do they take their IRA, invest it properly, withdraw from it properly so they have money to the end when they can't make basic financial decisions? I don't even think we're at the beginning of being prepared for that.
That's a great point.
Well, and when you talked earlier about we're all salesmen and saleswomen trying to build a practice, I think folks are looking at that point in an individual's life and probably saying it's not a whole lot of opportunity to generate revenue and build a business off of. So I'm going to focus on the accumulation phase. And efforts tend to continuously be focused in that stage and the early retirement years when they're spending the money, versus, like you're saying, when cognitively they may be a little bit slower, and from an account balance perspective it may be even lower. People are avoiding that conversation.
Absolutely, and well, it's unpleasant to talk about Alzheimer's. It's unpleasant to talk about dementia, and maybe somebody being defrauded out of all of their money. Those are terrible subjects, but we have to address them. And if I were an advisor, one thing I would seriously consider would be developing a structured retirement practice, not retirement income, not retirement plans, but retirement, and where retirement income would be part of that. But I would have like
encompassing.
Yes, Social Security claiming, Medicare claiming, annuities, investing for withdrawals, investing for lifetime sustainability, and I would staff it with like assistance, so that questions could be answered. I would actually structure a business structure around that.
Maybe this is a stretch for me, but I'm with you on this. I think advisors, retirement plan advisors specifically, still struggle with kind of a branding thing. It was the speaker earlier, Liz Ann Saunders, that said we're kind of painted with a wide brush, meaning they still see this Wall Street suit and tie kind of sales guy kind of image. We rank very low on things like trust scales and stuff. And so if advisors could follow your advice and build that all-encompassing retirement plan, that's a good step in that direction of trying to show people that, no. These are people that want to help. These are experts in this area that truly want to help people not only get to retirement, but enjoy the retirement and then deal with those tough later years. That's a nice story to tell, I think, that helps shape our image more the way it should be. So I think.
And when I say business model, I really mean business model. If you have, if I'm an advisor for your $250,000 IRA, I will provide the following 8 services. If I'm the advisor for your $1 million IRA, I'll provide the following 15 services. You, on the other hand, have a $10 million IRA, and I'm proud of you.
Been doing things right.
And I have like 30 services up. I mean, so it has to work as a business.
Yeah.
But even as a business, you can structure it properly. Take some of that 401k thinking about the size of the plan and the number of services, the number of meetings a year. Move that over into the IRA world and create a whole IRA retirement business model.
Good stuff. That's good stuff. Getting advice from the man himself, so take it in,
Pay attention.
Notes. Well, I have you. I know you have to you have to speak, but I think we got a little bit of time.
Sure.
Can I ask you, how do you feel about like financial wellness now? That's a big thing.
Buzzword.
We're seeing firms like Advisor and Questus and advisors proprietarily building things. Do you think financial wellness fits in our world of 401k?
Yeah, I do. I think, again, you have to have the business model for it. So if you look at people with $5,000, $10,000, $25,000 account balances, maybe the record keeper should provide some sort of a mass, an everybody financial wellness program to help with credit card debt, student loan repayments. Should you have an HSA?
Emergency fund,
the early stuff that when you're 25 and 30 years old, you're still trying to figure out that stuff. And then as it gets to larger accounts, then I think a holistic view at your overall financial picture based on who you are as a person and what your wealth is, absolutely.
We don't want to take too much of his time.
I have one question I want to ask, because I turn to a lot of your releases and information and posts, and I read what you're writing, and that's where I'm gaining a lot of my knowledge from. I don't know where you're getting your stuff from. We were joking around earlier, like, you probably sit with the folks in DC and you hear what
you have a secret phone that they call you on. And you say you do. I think the better way to say it is the entire world looks to you for this information. Where do you get it? Where do you?
I get it from 2 sources. The main one is I'm hired to work on all this stuff. So my research is work I do for my clients. So it's not all just stuff I have to do in my own time.
Right.
A lot of it is work time. But then, just driving around or thinking about things, some of the stuff I work on gels into a story, and then it's easy to write the story. That's the article, the story. The other is that I'm often hired, and a couple other attorneys in the firm are often hired to work on cutting edge projects, which involves discussions with the government. And so we get a lot of insights into SEC thinking, DOL thinking, based on the work that we're doing and the conversations we're having with the regulators. And that's why sometimes you see some of it's a cutting edge sort of idea, because we're working on cutting edge things. And then some of it is just if then to take that, how does that become a story? Just if you think about it, you start saying, wow, this is a really good idea. I think there might be a broader interest in this storyline, if you will. Yeah. And so it all comes out of real work. There's no secret sauce.
There's no magic URL that just gives you.
No, I don't call the White House. Don't call the White House and say, hey, what's up?
Yeah, what's that? Come on, give me the scoop.
There's no magic.
I think we should put him on the spot. You have a very busy schedule. I know you're always speaking. We appreciate having you for the short kind of special edition of Retireholics, but we would love to get you on the couch in the future. Would you drink beer with us maybe in the future?
Well, if we can do it after all my work is done, I might do that.
Okay.
Yes.
We'll try to hook up with you.
Do you have a
preferred
conference. Beer? Do you have a special beer that we should feature on that show?
Yeah.
Just so we're prepared?
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I prefer amber beers.
Amber. Do you have name the brand and everything?
Okay, Dos Equis Amber.
Oh, there
Done.
you go.
All right. We haven't had Dos Equis on the show.
Stay tuned for Fred Reish and the Retireholics with Dos Equis. Fred, thank you very much.
Thank you.
For being on the
Thank you,
Retireholics.
guys.
Thank you.
I'm going to teach you our tagline, and then you're going to say it with us to close us out, okay? What we say is that we're the Retireholics, and we're changing the retirement plan industry one beer at a time, okay? We are the Retireholics, and we're changing the retirement plan industry one beer at a time. With Fred Reish.
Thank you.